Hey guys, how y'all doing? I'm here to talk to you guys about absolute values and opposites. Now, absolute values and opposites, there's no math involved, there's no adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. So, this is golden. You can do this, absolutely. The only thing you have to know is the definition of the absolute value. Absolute value is really more of a mind game because for a lot of you, it's the first time you're seeing it. If you're in 7th and 8th grade, this is not the first time you're seeing it, so you should really get it down this time around. My 6th graders, I always say I have like a little gray hair growing named absolute values, mostly because everybody overthinks them. So absolute values, they're represented by these lines, okay? So I've tried to teach us many ways. When you take a car and you put it in the washer or in the car wash, right? You have these lines, it comes out clean, right? If you take a clean car and you put it in the washer, it comes out clean anyway. So no matter what, you have a clean car. I'm sure that doesn't make sense to you right now, but give me just a second. So absolute value tells you how far from zero the number is. It tells you also, this is another way to say it, the distance from zero. So absolute value is just measuring how far whatever number is inside of these lines, how far it is from zero. So let's talk about that. Distance. If I were to drive from here to the mall, however far the mall may be from you, in reverse, right? Did I travel negative miles? No. I still traveled however many miles it is from here to the mall. I still got there. I still traveled. I still went from here to here. So there's no way that I could have a negative distance. If I walk backwards across the street, did I still get across the street? Yes, I did. Maybe. I hope so. But yeah, I did, right? That I didn't go negatively. I still traveled a distance. So most people mix this up with opposites because they're taught together. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? But they do. AKA the books always have these in the same chapter. So no matter where you go, most of the books have these in the same chapter. That's why it's so confusing. So here we go. Absolute value, it tells you a distance, how far it is from zero. So sometimes I'll be like telling my kids, y'all, just think of it like this. So the absolute value of -8 means how far from zero is -8? It's 8. Okay, here we go. Ready? The absolute value of 8. How far from zero is 8? It's 8. That's all there is to it. There is no negative answer. If you were to say -8 here, you would be telling me my opposite. And that's not what absolute value is. Absolute value is purely how far is the number from zero. Okay, so let's do some practice and then we're just going to move on to opposites. So all of these mean how far is each number from zero. So right here, how far away from zero is a half? Is a half. Okay, right here, how far away from zero is -2/3? How far away from zero is it? That's my question. How far from zero is it? It's 2/3 away. Now these two down here. Now notice this negative is outside of the absolute value. Therefore, the absolute value has nothing to do with this negative. So this is the only time you have an absolute value question and the answer is going to be negative because the negative is on the outside. So right here we go. What's the absolute value of -8? How far from zero is -8? It's 8. But you got to bring that negative over, okay? It has nothing to do with the absolute value. It's on the outside, but we do have to bring it over. And then same thing here. How far away from zero is 2? 2. But you got this straggler over here hanging on to the outside. All right? All right. Great. So I'm going to kick this up a notch a little bit. Opposites. Now, opposites is exactly what it is. What's the opposite of up? Down. What's the opposite of having $100? Not having $100. What's the opposite of being in debt $1,000? Having $1,000. So pretty much that's all that it is. The opposite of plus is minus. The opposite of positive is negative. So here we go. What is the opposite of -3? +3. And you don't have to put that plus sign, okay? I'm going to skip this one. What's the opposite of 18? negative 18. Now this one right here, you guys are going to be learning about these two signs right here. All the sign rules. Negative and a negative make a positive. A positive and a positive make a positive. A positive and a negative make a negative. A negative and a positive make a negative, okay? I like to think of it as when you have the same sign, you sum. Same sign, sum. Opposites, subtract. All right? You can write that down, and you can write down same sign, sum, and opposite, subtract. All right, so here we go. I have a negative and a negative. That actually makes a positive 4. So what's the opposite of positive 4? Negative 4. All right. And down here, I have a positive and a negative. That makes a negative. And the opposite of negative 3 is 3. Last little go around. The absolute value of 5. The absolute value of 5 is asking how far away from 5 is, or how far away from 0 is 5. And it's 5. Now this one, what is the opposite of 5? Negative 5. Okay. This is asking you how far from 0 it is. This is just telling me what's the opposite. The absolute value of negative 3. How far away from 0 is negative 3? Oh, 3. And then the opposite of negative 3 is 3. All right, now I would suggest this if whatever your school district has, whether it be IXL, Khan Academy, Blooket, you can do a practice mode. I would practice absolute values and opposites. That's the only way you're going to get it is practice, 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 practice. Now that washing machine thing, I was saying that if you put a clean car through a car wash, it comes out clean, right? Positive, right? If you put a dirty car through a car wash, it still comes out positive. I've tried so many different ways, but really the only thing that works is to just understand. What is absolute value asking you? Absolute value is asking you, how far away from 0 is this number? And that's it. Bye.